Question mark. What? Those outcomes are really for men. I know the stats that you're quoting. Men live longer. Men are healthier when they're married. Unfortunately, it's the opposite for women because, begazela nyamezela, guys, it's our youth. Fast, quick. All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Rakhadi's Views. And I am your Rakhadi is I for the views of the reality. And this is Married at First Sight, South Africa. I am doing episode 1. I decided start in the beginning. So this is where we're at. So I think when it comes to the first 2 episodes, because those 2 episodes were really just introducing us to the couples, and then we were doing the wedding ceremonies. These are the ones that I'm going to do in a very detailed manner so that it's just setting the scene and the tone and we know who the characters are. But I think going forward, we're not going to do step by step as and when, but I'll see how I feel. If can energy, I'll give you step by step. I'm going to try. If I don't, I'll give you a nice little overview regardless. Before we start, once again, the reason that I am out here doing these videos is number one, it's for me personally as a creative outlet. But secondly, I like to believe that reality TV, because scripted, produced, reality TV has I don't know, it does have an impact on society, but really it's an opportunity for us to really just get a mirror, not just into people's lives because rataritaba, but also into our own lives and use what we are seeing and what we are viewing as a way for us to learn how to build better relationships with ourselves and with other people. So, this should be a template. So once again, going to commend the people who really don't seem to mind putting their business in the streets like this for us to consume and for us to chat about. Okay, so episode 1, we get started. The scene is set in Plettenberg Bay. Beautiful. We're at Barrington's, who really gonna get bang for their buck because if this show is targeted at young black professionals, middle class black diamonds of South Africa, Cape Town is no longer the spot. It's a complete as long as they're just ready for what's about to happen. When black people now know about Plettenberg Bay because Batong. Anyway, first person we come across is the first lady. Her name is Zitobile. She's 32 years old. She's a teacher wearing a cute little pink bodycon dress. She gets seated at the table. Next, who joins her is Litwanelo, but she's being called D as we go along. She's 31 years old. She's a law student, currently studying. Her previous profession, she was a chef, and she was a chef, I think, for about 10 years. So now she's going through this career change into law. And she has a child as we get to know her. In her intro, she says that apparently you live longer when you're married and your health is better too. Those outcomes are really for men. I know the stats that you're quoting. Men live longer. Men are healthier when they're married. Unfortunately, it's the opposite for women because, begazela nyamezela, guys, it's our youth. Fast, quick. But anyway, she says she's looking for somebody who's a strong personality because you can tell she is, and she does want somebody that she can just walk over. She acknowledges that she's a perfectionist and a control freak, which is great because she knows herself. However, how she's going to manage herself, we'll have to see. It's another story. And she says that she can easily be a bully. She doesn't want to be a bully. But, we'll see. Then the next woman we meet, Gibwe Tempo, she's 28. She's a marketing specialist. She says she's looking for a soft, patient, kind man, but who can be stern, somebody who's a leader. Baby girl is ready to submit. Okay. The fourth bachelorette at this point is unavailable. They say she's at work, so she can't be here for the initial meet and greet. But we do meet her later. Her name Kimakumo. She's 25 and she's in customer management. calls herself a Tswana. Mawana Makubo, you can see she's young, she's with it. Onale spice, onale life. Orata monate good time. Um, she says she likes to hear the truth and be told the truth. We shall see. Her biggest insecurity, though, is not feeling enough. And I think that's very relatable for every human, actually, man, woman, or anything else in between, because, unfortunately, in this society, we are conditioned to not feel enough. And that is how advertisers can now sell us nice things after the fact. So I like the fact that, she's sort of being real, opening up a little bit about herself. Um, and then the experts are looking at these intro videos, they're giving their little opinions here and there. But the best read out of all of those experts was Dr. Anele talking about Makumo and saying that no, it's clear she's not looking for maturity. That was real. But I mean, she's 25. So I think, at this age, it is what it is. Next, we move on to the men. The first bachelor, Kitami, he's 35. He's a teacher, yellow bones, zazas. You can see that he likes himself. He loves himself very much. He spends a lot of time taking care of how he looks. He is very much into appearance. And as he speaks later on in the episode, it is evident that he also is looking for a partner who shares those same values about image and how you look being the most important thing. Next is Tabang Teddy Bear, 27. He's in IT support and he's a tester. Says he's a hank. Also is out here with the Zazas on. Side note, are we still wearing sunglasses indoors, guys, in 2024? I know production lights are harsh and rather strong, but I don't know. It's a pet peeve of mine personally because we're taking recent hip hop music videos and R&B music videos from the 80s and the 90s because we want to see your eyes, especially if it's the first time you're meeting somebody. Take your glasses off. It's okay. We don't need, I don't know. Maybe it's a self defense tool or mechanism, but it is personally, I find it very, very annoying. But there they were together, Zaza rising indoors in a restaurant, trying to have a conversation with each other. Anyway, Tabang says he loves validation, and the feedback he's gotten from his ex girlfriends is that he tends to prioritize his friends over the girlfriends, which I'm not quite sure is a mature quality, seeing as he's about to be paired with Makumo. But, we all need to grow. That's what we're here for. The experts say that they're not really sure if he's the type of guy to commit because, well, mate, essentially. But they're willing to roll the dice and obviously, for entertainment purposes. I think they are also, and educational purposes, putting perhaps a couple like Tabang and Makumo in the forefront because people are out here getting married in their 20s. And I think it's a good example for us to see essentially, what that might look like in terms of the level of maturity and in what areas people might need to grow into and stretch. So, okay, fine. Get archetype. We're here, we're happy. Third guy, his name is Kuto. He's 34. He's a data analyst. A little chocolate brother there. He's an introvert. We see him, he's out. Wahaika. A pretty boots, little backpack. You can see he looks like the quiet type. Little chocolate brother there. Says his previous relationships didn't work out because what would happen is that he would take the feedback from the partner and then overcompensate in the opposite direction in the next relationship. So I think he's still trying to figure out not just who he is, but maybe, from that intro, there's a little bit of trying to be who the other partner wants and needs, and he's still trying to figure that out in relationship to who he is. I can say the question mark. Says he was raised by his grandparents who were very strict. So I think maybe that has been instilled in him, and that, the one thing we can say, there he was, a aneha washing your hair. So I think Matoko Atenge Atwafi, he can take care of himself, he can cook, he can clean. Things need to be orderly and done in a proper fashion. Playing guitar as well. So I was like showing a little bit of his creative side, Arzebi. And he speaks about the pain that in his last relationship, he was cheated on. And what hurts him the most is that his partner essentially didn't choose him and chose somebody else. He also has one child and says he would like two or three more, but we'll see. Last bachelor is Zile. He's 31. He's a client advisor. He's into gym, into fitness. I think Liana, it's evident in the way that he speaks about himself and sees himself that he identifies as a catch and he knows that he's a catch and he's looking for somebody else who is also a catch and they can be catches together, caught in love. But yeah, he also just seems like a nice, chilled, quiet guy. But as it goes on, conversation happens between the two couples, girls and guys. Guys, unfortunately, first thing they start talking about is sex and, if your potential wife comes with a 90-day rule, how you're going to handle that. Then we have Pastor Sylvester, who is the priest, pastor, who's going to be marrying them, or the officiant of the wedding ceremonies. He comes, he talks to the participants, I think the ladies. Officiant, I'm going to say that loosely, and I say that because I've watched the other Married at First Sight franchises, some of them, and what has come out is that actually these people are not married officially. Like they do not sign an actual marriage certificate document. But the language that they use throughout the recording of the show, the language that they will use with their family, and for all intents and purposes, all Sekhoa! For all intents and purposes, the language that they use when they are recording and to us is that they are married. So I don't know in South Africa's case. I am not saying that they're not doing that, but that is what happened in the other franchises. So as an officiant, I don't really know how legal it is. We don't know. It's alleged. But anyway, we meet the experts. They're all black, which is wonderful. Two men, two women. The one is a married couple, which is Bake and Nokwande Dlamini, who are both psychologists, specializing in relationship therapy. Then we have Dr. Anele, who I think is also a psychologist. And then we have Dr. Zelda, who's a black woman, who is an OBGYN and also a sexologist. So I think it's just wonderful to see a panel of, black professionals servicing black couples, in this type of show and in this type of experiment. Shows we've come a long way. Guys, we can now be the experts. People can't say that they can't find black people who are specialists in particular fields anymore because we are there pushing and it's lovely to see. So then next we see D and Kuto individually sitting with their friends, informing their friends that they are getting married to a stranger. Both of them are speaking to friends. So my question is, where are the parents? A family member, an uncle, a cousin, an aunt. Let me just some tea. From my side, that's the one thing I just would have liked to see. But I think also when we're looking at how this show is recorded, I'm assuming that I think they recorded during the week, probably to minimize costs and less interference with the guests, because I think Dee's brother said he was working and he wasn't going to be able to make it. So it was giving midweek vibes. So, okay, I can understand maybe some people can't make it. Anyway, there are no parents between D and Kuto who are being told or informed, or no elders, which is once again going to be very problematic because in the South African context, black people getting married without lobola or at least discussions amongst the elders. I know not everybody believes in the culture and practice, yamakadi, but maybe they're saving that drama for later. Then Tabang and Makumo also tell their friends. Tabang's boys are there, and they're like, no, they're shocked, they're horrified. The one friend is like, Tabang, like your mom is just not going to be down for this. But because this is where we at, we're just gonna support you the best that we can. The boys have your back, bruh. The boys. So the boys are with him. Makumo, at least she does have, I think, a cousin and a friend, and then her uncle, who seems to be the same age as her. So we're gonna call him Small Uncle. Karuki Takaya Haye. Small Uncle's first question is like, "Girl, have you told your father?" And she's like, "No." And he's like, "How are you getting married without telling your father? This is going to be a drama." And she says that her father was the one person she was a bit concerned about during this process because he's a very traditional person. And you can see that she loves her father a lot, and I think there's a deep connection there. But she's going ahead with this. Small uncle tells her like, for babes, nah, I can't support this because auna makadi, auna lengwalo, whatever this is about. I'm here because free vacation. But and literally he said that. And girl, you get that vacation, babe. Wa bona plate ke kgole. O tla fitha neng? Ko plate, o lo ja coast. O shapa ke fresh air ya lewatle. Go babes. So the other two, I think one of her cousins also. No, I'm confusing them. But yeah, small uncle, not down for it. But they're here, so they're going to try and make the best of it. Then next, we have the couples getting ready in their rooms. There's champers, and there is the dreaded charcuterie board. Once again, guys, I'm actually starting now. Account for this whole season on the number of times we are going to see a charcuterie board. And then, maybe then, people will understand why I am fed up. More with the obsession. The obsession of black people with charcuterie boards, guys. They came, they went, but like we just took it and we made it a fad. Ra di etsa, ra tshela dilo tse dingwe tsa rona. Like, I'm through. So, this is count number 1 for the first charcuterie board that we are seeing. I really wonder if we're going to get into double digits by the end of the season because, my God, we love it. Yo, we love it. Yo. I interpret, guys. Just the sight of it. Anyway, it's time for the wedding. So we start with D and Kutos. D, my girl, because she is wearing sneakers. Comfort first, guys. We don't have to sacrifice completely the look for comfort, but comfort is important. And I was like, high five, baby girl. Can I more like these sneakers and be comfort is good. Problem is between the two of them, they have 4 guests. D has her best friend, which I can say it because at the end of the episode, I'm not really sure about this. People have different types of relationships. However, you know what? When it comes, let me talk about it at the end when it comes. Yeah. Fine. The other weird thing is like, fine, the 3 friends, Kuzo sit on his side, Dee's friend is sitting on her side. No one is greeting each other. Like, is this the sign of the times? I hope not, because for me as South Africans, that is the one thing that I can say culturally. I know in the cities, Joburg, babes, nobody cares. Nobody, you walked on the street, nobody gave a fuck about you. No one's gonna greet you, unfortunately. Maybe like when taxing, but in buildings and stuff where we're familiar. I still love that. And I think it's the one thing that I really would like us to hold on to as a country because you travel out there in the world and in other countries, guys. It's cold. People are cold. Very cold towards each other. And I think that's the one thing we've still got going for us as South Africans is that we can connect, re na le vibe, re na le life. We have life force. We have prana, re na le botho. So that was just a very strange thing for me that people were not greeting each other. Even in the second wedding, guests were not greeting each other. Anyway, sit down. Kuto's the first to come out. He's got his little suit together, sinatanyana, walking like a grandfather. He's walking like a grandpa. You can tell he was raised by an old man. Shem Udali, that air of what about seriti, just somebody to respect. And I was like, good for him. He looked really nice. Um, Dee comes out with her dress. Um, Kuzo's backup group guests are busy talking about, no, she's pretty, she looks great. Come down the aisle. We do the vows. I'm not gonna lie, Kuzo's vows with Deka Deka ring. I think he was pretty nervous and he was making jokes about, how strong he is. He can open bottles of jam or honey or whatever. But it just felt a little bit impersonal and didn't really give much away about himself and his character. Dee's vows, on the other hand, they were very personal, Yeah, babes, she was still really committing herself, like proper, in those vows to a stranger. She was making promises. I will do one, two, three. I won't do five, four, six. I was like, okay, girl, this person you don't know, say those things. Hers was solid. Hers was solid. And she promised to let go of control. We'll see. It's been recorded. There's evidence. Arabon. And to be a companion. Then they did the little lamza, but lambs. It was very cute. It was like a little peck on the cheek, but you were strangers, so But it was cute. It was nice for the pictures. Then they both sit. They're having a conversation. Now I don't know if this was editing, and I'm really hoping it is because the first question that Dee asked Kuzo when they were sitting together, really too, is what car do you drive? I'm going to reserve my comments. Kuzo then said he drives an Audi, whatever. He asked her, oh no, you can see she was clearly impressed, firstly. He asked her what car she drives, and she's like, it's a Mazda, which is nothing wrong with a Mazda girl. But for some reason, there was then awkwardness between the two of them. Just theme, topic, conversation. I really hope that was editing because ne go le tense, go le awkward. I was even watching and I was just like, crickets. What I will say is that even when there was guys, whoever is doing the set design for this show, the people who are doing this color couch, the flower arrange. Listen, I don't know who brought Married at First Sight South Africa back on the TV screens for a second time. I don't know which production company it is, and I don't know who is funding it. Mara budget thing. High five, clap once, clap twice for the people who are doing that set design. Baby, my plomo. Beautiful. Just beautiful. Beautiful, bitch. That person is working. And basically, I'm going to try and get their name on the credit and shout them out because, baby, you are doing your job. It looked beautiful. Even just with the camera, the cinematography, whatever, the angle, sunset. Babes, production on this show, beautiful. Next, we have Tabang and Makumo. They're doing their wedding. So Tabang comes down and he's wearing like a proper full on tuxedo. Shem, he looked very nice. Very, very nice. He was dressed well. And the one thing I will say, because Kuto's suit was a bit tight, and personally, me and just men starting to wear tight clothes for me, I could say it's not for me. It's not, especially tight pants. Why? Just get it a size bigger. If you go to the gym, it's fine. I will see your muscular thighs when you derobe. We don't have to force just the thighs coming out by wearing things that are a size or two smaller than us. He was wearing the perfect fit, Tabang. Ale shapo, ale handsome. Makuma then came out. Hair and makeup were on point. I'll give her that. I didn't personally like her wedding dress because I think it aged her very badly and didn't do a lot, I think, to like show off like her body and just accentuate her body, not show off as in like, be revealing and tight and stuff. But we all have parts of our body that we know "Gore, ha ke etsa so this is gonna shine." And I just think that that dress wasn't really, highlighting the best parts of her body. And just for me, it was aging her more than anything else. It was just aging her. But it's her dress. They meet at the altar. Hominati, they're smiling, Makuma thinks Tabang is sexy. Teddy bear is sexy. I'm like, okay. So there's chemistry between the two of them, which is great. And Makuma had expressed that she was looking for a Zulu guy. So, in his vows, when he was calling her Mama, you could just see it melting. And girl, it's okay. I understand. Niggas had say, I was ignorant. When I niggas had like Zulu hante, and I was just like, I don't understand these girls. Why are people just going crazy? And then Zulu. And then I understood why we have women on Mnagwetu with a man there making them look like a fool on national television. And it's a Zulu man. But I get it now, but that's a topic for another day. It's okay. Anyway, you could see her melted when he called her mama. She was down. The vows were great. Tabang tells her that me, she's loving it. Kisses all around. Everything is great. Once again, they're getting married with the sunset, baby, cameraman, shooting, directors, yes, the whole team. Ew. Whoever is shooting, I just want to say one more time, whoever is setting the scene, art directing, cinematography, gripping. Guys, you're doing a wonderful job. Wonderful job. Like, this is elevating, I think, TV production, especially reality TV production in South Africa, because sometimes it tends to look real cheap and like real on a budget. But did that. Did that. Then we go in. Both couples are getting settled in for the night, individually in their rooms. There's some sparkling wine, there's some rose petals. Tabang again, teddy bear, God, and because no shame, their chemistry is on point, you can see. And then the last scene that I just wanted to talk about was Kuto and Dee, because they got into their room as well. And then Kuto tells Dee that, no, your friend doesn't really like me. And I'm not sure what happened. I wish we could have seen that on camera, but maybe it's something that must have happened off camera that led to him feeling that way. And Dee was like, no, she's like that with a lot of my boyfriends and partners. She's just very protective of me. And then Kuto asked, is she like that with your son? And I was like, that's a strange question, but also like, those are some fighting words because what? Your son? How is that in the same category as boyfriends and you as a stranger husband? But okay, thank God Dee did not take the bait. And then Dee said the strangest thing, because she says, no, she's never met my son. Question mark. What? How is this best friend who is the only guest at your wedding a friend that has never met your child? And like when we see later, like this child, it's not like an infant baby. Like this is a person. I don't know how old he is. Maybe like 5, 6, 7. 2 plus 2, babes, is looking like it's equaling 9. And question mark. But okay, that was episode 1. It was a good introduction to everybody. A little bit slow, but they're setting the scene, and we're going to see how things progress later on. So I'll see you for the next Rachadi's View in the next episode. Spread love, not hate. Bye.